Courtroom Podcast.
You know, some of the things I'm about to say may sound as if I'm defending Diddy, which I'm clearly not. Some of the things that I say on this episode may seem as if I'm trying to incriminate Cassie, but I'm clearly not. You know, I just want to read the article of what happened in court yesterday. And we're going to get into what Cassie is doing on the stand today also. It's just that I got a little bit of time today to be able to record, but that episode will come out a little later on tonight. You know, so the male escort that contributed to a lot of things that went on in them freak-offs and them sexcapades, getting pills and all of this, spoke out and he took the stand yesterday talking about some of the freak ball things that was going on, man. And he did what with Cassie? Y'all see it up under me? He did what with Cassie? Man, we're going to get into some of this reading. We're going to give our takes here and there, and then we're just going to further the discussion. So Diddy trial. Male escort gives graphic testimony about encounters with Sean Combs and Cassie. Says he witnessed beatings. So Sean Diddy Combs sex traffic trial escalated on Monday afternoon as Daniel Phillips, a 41-year-old male escort, was called to the witness stand. In an extreme graphic testimony that lasted about an hour, Phillip was questioned by lead prosecutor Maureen Comey about his sexual encounters with Combs and his then-girlfriend Cassandra Cassie Ventura. From around 2014 to 2012 to 2014, according to Phillip, he was paid between $700 and $6,000 on several occasions to have sex with Ventura as Combs watched and, did his thing. That's weird. On more than one occasion, he witnessed Combs physically abusing Ventura, and in one instance, he was given the drug MDMA. Phillips was first pulled into Combs' orbit when he was working as the manager of a male revenue show in Manhattan around 2012. One night, his boss asked if he could go to the Grammy Park Hotel for a bachelorette party because none of his dancers were available. Phillip believed he would arrive at the hotel and perform a striptease for a group of women. Instead, Ventura opened the door to her hotel room and asked if he was okay engaging with just her. Wow. Ventura, who is expected to testify against Combs later this week, has accused Combs of feeding her and forcing her to engage with male escorts. Forcing her to engage with male escorts. That is crazy. What type of demonic energy is that? You know what I mean? Forcing somebody that you proclaim to love into doing something with somebody else. What type of kinky shit is that? Or what type of, benefit is he getting from that? She also accused him of physically assaulting her. As Phillips remembered it, Ventura was wearing lingerie, high heels, and sunglasses, and she told him it was her birthday and her husband arranged a special gift for her. She immediately handed him a few $1,000s. Combs was in the room too. Ventura asked Phillips to rub baby oil, here go the baby oil, on her and massage her, and she assured him that Combs was not gay and would not touch him. Phillip did not immediately recognize Combs as he was clad in a white robe with a bandana covering his face from his nose down. As Phillips and Ventura touched each other and eventually began having intercourse, Combs sat in a chair in the corner of the hotel room. At one point, Phillip realized who the man was when Combs spoke, and he recognized his voice. This is some nasty type shit. That's a fetish, like a kink fetish, to see your girl getting active with somebody else. I don't understand that type of fetish. I would like for somebody to help me out in the comment section about that, because I don't understand that fetish, real talk. Just being honest with y'all. After a short time, Ventura handed Phillip another few $1,000s and sent him on his way. She took his phone number. A few minutes after he left the hotel, Phillip received a text message from Ventura asking him to send a picture of his wee-wee and to come back up to the room. He obliged, and for another few hours, they rubbed baby oil on each other and had as Combs watched. For hours? Wow. Philip would continue to engage in sexual relationships with Ventura and Combs at hotels across Manhattan and at each of their private residences in the city. Sometimes Philip would send Ventura vulgar texts like, I want to you right now. And sometimes he would text to ask if she was good. He cannot recall Ventura responding to said text. Dang, so she wasn't even responding to his text. So everything that was being done was because of Diddy or whatever, because Diddy wanted her to do this or whatever. Me listening to other commentary and other people talk about this and hearing the court case or whatever, the audio from it, it seems as if they was trying to make Cassie seem as if she was liking this. She wanted these things. She paid for it out of her own pocket. This wasn't Diddy's money or whatever. And she wasn't forcefully involved in these things or whatever. She was forcefully involved in these things. Okay. Philip said each time he would meet with Ventura and Combs, there were candles and bottles of baby oil and Astroglide lubricant on the table. On one occasion, Combs directed Philip and Ventura through a role-playing exercise. We were not very good at that at all, Philip said. You know, what's interesting about this, too, is that this man hasn't complained one time about doing these things. He's just talking about what was done. It seems as if he was happy doing this with Cassie and receiving the money. He ain't complaining about doing it. Combs would often tell Philip and Ventura to rub more baby oil on each other, and he would instruct Philip where and when to. He was always sitting in the corner. Philip said, of course, though, he added that on occasion, Combs would switch places with him to engage in, oh, that's nasty, engage with Ventura. On one occasion, Ventura asked him to urinate on her. And rarely did we use condoms. So that don't sound forceful. She might have liked some of these interactions because she asked him to use me as a urinal. Now, okay. Diddy, if he's guilty of the freaky stuff, does this make her guilty in any kind of way to the public eye? Do y'all see any guilt in this? Is she freaky too? If he's guilty of being freaky, is she freaky too, to the point to where she's guilty of the freaky? Let's keep reading. Philip said these encounters would last anywhere from 1 to 10 hours. After he would have sex with Ventura, she would go into the bedroom with Combs and leave Philip waiting outside on the couch for hours. Sometimes they would come back out and tell him to leave, and other times they would bring him back into the bedroom for another round of intercourse. Philip said Combs videotaped him having sex with Ventura once or twice on a cell phone and camcorder. One time, Philip pretended to, after Combs instructed him to, inside Ventura. Wow. After Combs brought Ventura into the bedroom, he repeatedly questioned Philip if he was sure he finished. Their interactions became more intense after Combs took a photograph of Philip's driver's license and said it was just for insurance, just in case. I understood too, but he was threatening me, Philip said, as Combs' attorney Xavier Donaldson yelled objection. Repeatedly, many of his objections were overruled by the judge, but Phillips was sometimes reined in when he began to speculate. Wow, that is graphic. You know, another thing that was interesting about this, they said when this conversation was had, they had to remove Diddy's children, his younger children, out of the courtroom because he didn't want them to hear this graphic stuff. And I don't think that they should be in the courtroom anyway, the younger ones, those twins or whatever, those girls, because everything about this case is something that you don't want to hear a child know that you participated in. On one instance, Combs allegedly offered Philip MDMA or Molly, which made Philip feel physically sick and nauseous, but also euphoric. Philip left that night with a wad of cash and, still under the influence, began roaming the city. I went into the middle of Times Square and I handed out every single dollar he gave me, Philip said. That's cap. That's cap trying to make himself look good. He didn't care about the money Ventura and Combs gave him, saying it was exciting to be around famous people. I never asked them for a single dollar. So dang, you never even asked them for money. They were just giving it to you. He was just happy to be there, basically. So what's incriminating about this? Why is he even a witness? At a certain point, Philip said he began witnessing Combs physically abuse Ventura. One time he saw Combs throw a glass bottle in Ventura's direction. Then he hit her and dragged her by her hair into another room. She was screaming and he pulled her into the bedroom, Philip said. I could hear what sounded like him slapping her. She was screaming, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. Philip said, Combs said, Ventura, when I tell you to come, you come now, not later. I was shocked. It came out of nowhere. I was terrified. I didn't know what to do, Philip said. When asked why he didn't intervene or call the police, he said, in my mind, if I tried to do something, I might lose my life, he added. My thoughts were Combs was someone with unlimited power. My life was at risk, Philip said. Combs would attempt to resume sexual activities directly after alleged domestic assault. Golly. She went through it, man. She went through it. But she got paid. You know, money can't bring back your soul, bring back, you know what I mean, remove the memories out of your life because those memories live forever. She really disliked this man because she got paid and she's still taking a stand. Wow. I could only imagine, like, where was her brothers, her father at? Like, why couldn't she have these conversations with them and they remove her from this situation? Because I would have crashed out if this was my daughter. It must have been some sort of liking to this also, though. After he started witnessing the abuse, Phillips had difficulty staying hard in the presence of Combs. Wow. Once or twice, Combs gave him Cialis, which treats erectile dysfunction. Phillips said that on occasions in which he could not perform, he was sometimes not paid. Philip detailed another incident at the Jeremiah Essex Hotel where he heard screaming and slapping noises from behind the bedroom doors. Combs then vacated the hotel, leaving Philip alone with Ventura, according to Philip. Ventura jumped into his lap and began crying and kissing him, which she had not done during the previous encounters. Philip asked Ventura why she was staying in an abusive relationship, and she insisted she was okay. Wow. This is exposing her because he's exposing that she is toxic also. After getting abused, you want to kiss and make love to feel some sort of, I don't know what to feel, some sort of acceptance. The two of them began having sex and Philip did not have trouble performing. While they had intercourse, they noticed Combs sneaking back into the room to watch. One time at Ventura's home, Combs had invited another male sex worker who ended up getting in a verbal altercation with Combs after he accused him of looking at him during a threesome. Phillips was never paid for sex meeting Combs and Ventura, and he has not been paid for sex since their last encounter, sometime in late 2013 or 2014. When asked why he continued to meet up with Combs and Ventura, he told the courtroom that he considered Ventura a friend and wanted to check up on her. Plus, he feared that if he agitated Combs, he might be in danger. That's going to complete my reading because, you know, this is kind of graphic and kind of sick. And that was what happened in court yesterday. I'm going to come back and read what happened in court with Cassie later on today and the things that she said when I get the transcripts and all of that. But I appreciate y'all tuning into my show, man. What's y'all thoughts about this in the comment section? Let's further the discussion. Peace, love, plenty of abundance. Make sure you go get you some money. And I'm gone. Chill.
The Trevor Jackson Podcast.